That was the best feeling one.
Was it?
Yeah.
Good.
Didn't feel anything.
Love it. Great job. 194 on the fly. Beautiful.
Just trying to bottle that feeling.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Absolutely delighted to be at our new Calgary store here and delighted to be joined by Matty Tan.
I am. Pleasure. Absolute
this
pleasure.
This is awesome. So pleased that we got a chance to do a follower fit while we're out here.
Yeah.
This is cool.
You caught us at quite a snowstorm right now.
We are in a little snowstorm.
Minus 19 or so.
Yeah, and that's going to be the high of the day.
Yeah, high of the day.
It's chilly, guys. It's chilly, but it's not in here, which is the main thing.
Yeah.
And we're going to dive into your bag today. We're going to take a look into Matt's bag. A bag that has been put together kind of with help from, you said, your father-in-law. You've put some bits together yourself. You've dabbled in a little bit of customization with stamping your own wedges. Good for you.
Played with my own ferrules a little bit. I've done my own grips.
Yeah.
Helped out some friends with their grips, but definitely a bit of a Frankenstein set that I kind of just put together on a limited budget.
I love what you've done. I love because it's yours. It looks like yours. I mean, custom ferrules on here. You've got some real sort of hidden gem type stuff. And we're going to look at some irons with you today and maybe transition into sort of long irons and how the sort of driving iron and the hybrid sort of all combine. We've been doing a lot of driver testing in the fairway, the fuller fitting. So I'll be really excited to dive into your irons today and start to talk about blending. Yeah. If that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Tell me a little bit about the bag in general, though. Maybe let's start down at the wedges.
So the wedges, the Kirkland wedges, the original version.
Yeah.
Got from my father-in-law actually.
Wow. Okay. So does he like golf?
He loves the golf.
More than you?
Yeah. I don't know if he loves it more than me right now. I certainly play a lot more, but he has definitely been really encouraging about it, playing some golf. So he got me those wedges. Just golf is expensive, as we know. So. Prior to the Kirkland wedges, just had some used wedges, and I know how important, fresh screws were, so he got me those. So they're about 2 seasons in right now, I think. Okay. And I kind of just gone from there. Change out the grips because they were super slick on the original Kirklands.
And your Z-cord mid-size.
I go with the Z-cores mid-size. I find it's more comfortable for me in my hands, and particularly the Z-cores because I like that tackiness. Right. I really like it. Really tacky in my hands. I've tried some other grips, just wasn't a fan, so I've tried to go Z-cords across the board.
Yeah, they're firm, very tacky, little bit of cord, can allow you to play in any conditions.
Lets me feel when I have some mishits too, kind of, help out there.
You've got some gems for irons. Bridgestone J40s.
J40s, yeah. I used to play an old Taylormade RBZ set. Right. And when I was playing those for about my first 2 years, didn't really feel any feedback, truth be told. Right. And then as my stepdad got me into golf a little bit more, he gifted me those set of the J40s, fresh. They were clean, weren't used, and that's all I've ever known for the past 3 years. So, cool. So I've just been working through with those, and like you said, just put those custom ferrules on. Last winter, just decided to play around with it a little bit more for myself, and just getting that club building process. So I've been really enjoying it, actually.
So you've got some flighted Project X 6.0s in there, 120 grams. Yeah. You've got a Strixon ZU85 with a Miyazaki shaft. That's a hybrid shaft that's been sort of cut down and put in here. Yeah,
so that was a bit of a Frankenstein too, just for some safety off of the tee. I rarely miss left with that, so just depending on which par 4 I feel comfortable with.
Trust it,
trust it, just cut it. Yeah, cool. And then if I miss left, then I'm just in a world of hurt and don't really know where my game's at if I'm missing left with that, but that's the trusty one off the tee box.
Okay, so hybrid, you've got a older 1913H 24 degree. I take it this is the 4-iron replacement?
Yeah, I struggle in the long irons for sure. The 5-iron, I struggle a decent amount where there are times I'm not even playing, where I'm going from a 6-iron right to the hybrid. And lately the flight on a hybrid strike and in my fairway woods is quite low. Right. So I'm not really holding any greens. It's more of a long par 5. I'm just trying to get up there. I'm never really looking to land greens with these clubs, unfortunately.
You're not pin seeking with those ones.
Yeah, there's kind of just, if it's a longer par 5, anywhere from 200 to 250, I'm looking to kind of just get the ball up there. If there's no trouble in front, because it's tough for me to carry with just such a low ball flight and kind of just
do you hit pretty low?
Generally, yeah.
Okay.
Irons I think they're fairly well in the outside when I'm hitting. The fairway woods I know on a good strike, so I'm striking them low.
Got it.
And low ball flight.
Okay. You've got some lead tape on a couple of clubs, specifically 5-wood and driver. Is that just to help with a little bit of flight, trying to kind of tilt the CG back?
In your previous video, I was talking about the lead tape and just playing around with it. I don't know if it's just a mental block in my head, just trying to look for some help there. But a bit of a feel thing, but at the same time, I haven't been able to change out the shafts in that 5-wood since it's fitted there. Played around a little bit with the hybrid in the loft, so I've lofted it up for some help. And then generally too in the hybrid and the 5-wood, my miss is a left miss.
Got it.
I generally don't miss right with those clubs.
Okay. Okay, so a real mixed bag. Kirkland's, Bridgestone, Strixon, Titleist, two Taylormade woods, a Sim Max, and an M6.
Yeah, some lead tape on that one as well. Starting out was definitely a right miss with the driver, and lately now my miss has been left. I know it's a high toe miss, so I generally tee the ball a little bit lower to try and help myself, prevent myself from hitting that high toe. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, a good golf bag, and one we're going to dive into. We're going to specifically look at irons today, and again, as we said, transition into the sort of hybrids and what's the merit of the driving iron. We're going to try and make sense of all of that for you today.
Yeah, and I think the driving iron, was just kind of inspired by one of my friends. He's a scratch golfer. He has a driving iron, and I like the look of it in iron off the tee box, so I kind of went looking for one that I could get, a regular flex shaft in it, he has a bit of a smoother swing than mine, so just looking for see what would help, and for the most part it's helped, but no, never been properly fit. Everything's kind of just been put together off of bit of a feel set here, so looking forward to the fitting and seeing what I really need, because it's all I've really ever known for the past couple of years is this set.
Okay, me too. Well, let's dive in there. Let's get to hit some 6 irons just to warm up. All right, Matt. Feeling pretty loose?
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Okay, maybe one more.
Okay.
All right, Matt. Let's take a little look at the numbers here.
Okay.
Some really good ball striking actually. So our average so far with the 6 iron, 123 ball, 14 launch, mid 5,000s on the spin. I see your point about the kind of lower flight.
Yeah.
Peaking about just under a tad under 80 feet.
Okay.
So that shallows out the angle of descent and
kind
makes
of runs
out, holding the greens, because I mean if the obviously courses get pretty baked out, here in the summertime and they get dry, that can be a challenge accessing some of those front pins. So we want to definitely take advantage of some tech. As much as an iron like J40 is revered, and it is, there's no tech in there.
Right.
They're really very minimal technology in order to sort of influence a change in your ball flight. So we'll want to try and work a little bit on that. So dispersion, we'll look to shrink that a little bit. Your standard deviations are pretty good, so you do what you do pretty often, which is really, really nice. I would just like to start to tackle this height a little bit more. The highest ball you had was the last one at 85 feet.
Right.
I want to get it up a little bit higher than that. Ideally, probably mid to high 90s in terms of height. So that's what we're going to work on. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, sir. Let's not dive too much into what it is yet.
Start hitting some balls.
Yeah, we'll hit some, and I think it's only meaningful to tell you what it is, to be honest, if it's working. Okay. Right. So let's figure out if we're on the right tracks pretty early on here. How's your contact on the course?
On course, I'm definitely hitting quite down, taking a lot of divots.
Yep.
That's where I think I struggle with the longer irons in the fairway woods, where I tend to really get steep.
Yep.
So that's where I think I struggle in the longer irons for sure.
Okay. Okay, Matt, let me steal that one from you.
Okay.
Thank you. You feel anything there in terms of the weight or anything of the club?
It's really hard for me to say. The set I own now is all I've ever known for a couple of years, so definitely have an adjustment swinging a different club, so really hard for me to say right now.
Okay. We're moving in a little bit of an unconventional direction with this one.
Okay.
I think T150 made a lot of sense. There's, a great looking club with some help and some other things, but it really didn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
So these things are only useful if they improve what it is that you do from a delivery perspective. So we're going to do a complete 180.
Okay.
Very early on.
Okay.
Which is cool. Stick with the same shaft because we don't know if we change both variables, we won't understand which one helped if it does. Let's hit a few with this one.
Okay.
So that seems to be the most prominent miss is the sort of slight early release of the angles.
Yeah.
The club shallows out or the club steepens and kind of the toe gets thrown down.
Right.
My feeling is that the shaft's too light.
Okay.
And I don't know if it feels like that when you swing it.
Hard for me to say if it was too light or heavy, but nothing noticeable enough.
Let's give you a contrast to at least give you a sense of some different things.
Okay.
That's the noise.
Yeah. The shaft, that one feels a bit heavier, like you were saying.
Totally. And when we try and explain to people what shafts do, Matt, that's a great example of what shafts do. They don't really change ball flight. So if I take, for example, the previous one you hit quite nicely. These shafts are in no way similar at all. Yet the spin is identical. We talk about high launch shafts and low launch shafts. For the identical ball speed, launch angle's within half a degree and spin is 140 RPMs, and it went the exact same distance.
Right.
But you timed one significantly better than the other, right?
On that first swing too, yeah.
So that's what shafts do. That's important for, we always try and get that message across. It's not a launch and spin thing. It's a you thing. It's a timing and cadence to the swing. Love to see that peak height now. Little kind of cheat note for people who get on a launch monitor and want to know if their height is sufficient or not. Your club head speed and your peak height are the same.
Okay.
That's what I want on a 6-iron.
Okay.
Okay, so your peak height should be right around where your 6-iron club head speed is.
Okay.
Okay. Let's hit a few more. Gorgeous. One thing we know weight doesn't do is makes you slower. So you were in your shaft's 120 grams. This is over 130, 132 grams. And you've actually gotten quite a bit faster. Yeah, 3.5 miles an hour faster. So there's mass in how we use mass. You use it to your advantage and to increase your speed, which is amazing.
Okay. I like seeing that. I don't think I see that very often on a sim.
Okay. Right, I'm going to steal that one from you.
Okay.
What golf ball is that you're playing?
TP5.
Just standard?
Standard TP5, yeah. Used to play a Vice ball.
Yeah.
For that budget sense.
Yeah.
And then as I got better, I noticed, for sure, at least on the wedges, I wasn't able to hold greens with the Vice ball. And then took a shot at a TP5. And then over the course of a couple of rounds, I was really noticing I was starting to hold the greens more with the wedges. So I kind of stuck with it.
Good. So it's a very good golf ball. All right, Matt. We're getting closer. We're getting, like, that spec is starting to kind of, like, come together. We're seeing things that are working. We're starting to kind of put sort of lots of layers on top of one another now. We've got your grip on there. We've got the TIMECODES S400 shaft. We're at standard length. We're in a head that's kind of somewhere between your Bridgestone and where we started off in T150. We're ending up in T100. This is going to start to look quite close. We've changed lie angle. I want to show you that in a few shots time. You start to see dynamically your club come in differently. as somebody who has a little bit of a tendency to enter early behind the ball, you don't need that club that far down.
Right.
That's not helping at all. And it also won't help when you get ball below the feet and you've got sort of any amount of wind off the left. Very hard for you to hold the ball line when the ball is below your feet like that. So we'll start to make those changes now.
Okay.
Good, Matt.
Yeah.
That's so close.
That one felt good.
So close. So as we're kind of starting to put the pieces together here, we're now seeing like the layering of the technology, which is ball speed retention. I mean, even with your club, you never saw anything higher than 125 ball speed. So to see you at 129 now with this one is telling me what the T100 is doing. Launch angle 2 degrees more. Spin is not moved a whole lot, but you've got more velocity and you've got more launch, which has given us a completely different flight window. So we're now sailing way above where we were before. If you look at the land angle now, we're kind of heading towards the mid-40s and at 100 feet peak. That's wins in every department now, so really, really good stuff. Let's see a few more of this one. Good. Just hanging on to its start line a little bit. One thing I would love to, I'll challenge you to do it now because I think if we just left you over time, it would happen naturally anyway. I want you to aim a little bit more right.
Okay.
I think the amount, if we go back to where you were at the very start in terms of your dynamic lie angle, you were 8.5 degrees toe down. So when we tilt the club that far right, the face is effectively pointing right. Over time, that will filter its way into your game that you have to develop a left path. You don't need to have a left path. You only have a left path because the face angle is telling you have to do something to bring the ball back to the left because the face is so tilted to the right. I want to see you sort of, again, challenge yourself to start the ball out here on the right side of the green. And whether it's a draw, whether it's a pull, whatever it is, then challenge yourself to bring it back left. Right, but start it right.
Start it right. Okay.
That would do the job.
I don't see that shape too often.
So, I mean, a lovely little change with this one. Right, so by shifting your alignment to the right, you actually don't need to change your path at all. Just shifting your alignment to the right. Look at the change now in terms of the delivered loft. Early on, it was, I think, 20, I remember with you, or 21. So it's now kind of coming up ever so slightly. Again, back to the last one, 24 on that one. Launch angle coming up. So we know we're then pushing the peak and the descent up now. So really, it's not going to be a challenge for you to stop the ball at all anymore whatsoever. Right. So you're going to get access to more pins. You're going to get better proximity because you're not sort of trying to calculate land and roll and all these things fall off the sides of runoffs and stuff. Right. You can be much more precise about where you land it. Imagine you just want to you want to toss your ball into the green like you're landing in a sand pit. That's the way I want you to almost think about it. Just lands and stops. Okay. How does that head shape and sort of the whole package? How does it look and feel?
Shape feels familiar just from the top line. It's sort of feels familiar to my club. I do like the look of this, and especially from a dress, it's sort of the shape that I'm used to. When I move from those RBZs to those Bridgestones, thinner top line, and then now it's sort of just kind of what I'm kind of used to looking at.
So throwing in a different golf ball to the mix now. Pro V1X, just kick that spin up a little bit more. We'll see if we want it. We may be able to help your distance control. So the fluctuation in sort of getting the flyer, the potential flyer, you would be considered to be somebody who would be concerned about the flyers. Somebody with high speed, good compression, and any kind of any interruption of friction, so water, grass between club face and ball, any of that stuff, you can lose, or you can gain probably 20 yards on a 6 or 7 iron on a really good strike that gets interrupted in its friction, right? So I would rather give you more spin and then that way you'll have some excess to play with.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to switch a club.
Okay.
Okay, back to T100 and S400. Combo that we kind of really, we're starting to get some good results with.
Okay. That was the best feeling one.
Was it?
Yeah.
Good.
Didn't feel anything.
Love it. Beautiful. Like that strike just sounds
Same
amazing.
feeling. Really good.
Okay, let's go back to yours.
Okay.
And I think it's important to do this when we make such sizable changes to lie angle like we have.
Yeah.
So let's move yours to the right spec
Okay.
and give them another try.
I can actually feel how light this is now.
Yeah, big difference in weight, isn't there?
Yeah, I can really feel that on my
Yeah.
swing.
So what I want to get away from with you, and one of the reasons I can encourage you to aim to the right is I want to get you away from this sort of like slightly over the top move that we've
Right.
got. Path getting very much left. The lighter the club, the more you're going to do it.
Okay.
That's why I'm getting you into some heavier
Okay.
stuff, right? The more, like, you know, we're swinging the golf club on a plane, right? And sort of an angled plane around our body. We're not swinging vertically. So anytime we tip the mass away, we increase the sort of magnitude of it. So when you have something light, it's very easy to sort of reroute that mass.
Okay.
When it's heavier and you have more awareness of where it is, it actually will stay behind your hand path for longer.
Okay.
That's very much what you want to try to see more of. You'll start to gain more club face control. You'll start to achieve a better dynamic lie angle. All these good things will happen from that. So
Okay.
that's just purely by the weight of the shaft.
Okay.
Good, but maybe a hair skinny.
A little bit, yeah.
So now we're kind of in an apples for apples world when it
Okay.
comes to dynamic lie angle. So that's certainly a good thing. But there's the weight. Light club.
Right.
All of a sudden your swing speed's gone.
Yeah.
You know, you've dropped another 2.5 miles an hour. So never is it going to be an equal fight when you're producing the same efficiency, but just totally different output. Fascinating, isn't it? That you
Yeah.
swing something lighter,
Lighter,
much slower,
Slower, yeah.
against conventional wisdom. Yeah, good. Okay, back to T100. Getting really close, Matt.
That one felt good.
Yeah, definitely the strike we want. So much compression in that, Matt.
It's a shot shape I don't never thought I'd see.
So if we kind of look at where we've ended up, it's with more velocity is where we've ended up. We've ended up at quicker ball speed, quicker club head speed. We know you really do well with that shaft. Probably the biggest winner today is dynamic lie angle. Right, that's a big change. Path is now less. Face is more in line with the path. All of that is good stuff. There's more gains to come. Again, we had it when we first started testing with this head that the launch was excellent. Our peak height was sort of up around 100 at times. It's came back down a little bit, but
Okay.
listen, I'm not going to try and win all the battles
Right.
today. Not necessary to kind of do that. But I do love the change you've made there to sort of the path, getting the face closed to the path, and getting that dynamic lie angle down. Efficiency is incredible. I mean, it's arguably too efficient. So we maybe want to. That's when we start playing with golf ball and stuff again. Give me one more. In fact, a couple more shots with that Pro V1X.
Okay.
Give me that one more time. I mean, that's amazing. That should give us the spin now with that golf ball. Actually wasn't too high. 53. Okay, and again.
Okay.
strike. Yeah, presenting a nice amount of loft there. Okay. As they always say, success leaves clues, right? Let's look back at what was it about that one at 104, or even that one, either one. Probably actually this one would be my favorite because it's higher in ball speed. That is the blueprint. That's the, we take a snapshot of that. So there's the amount of delivered loft we want. That's how much less down you were, right? So you've kind of gotten, and it's probably just as shifting your swing around a little bit.
Yeah.
That's kind of caused it. But 4 degrees down, 23 degrees of loft delivered. That is the perfect launch and spin. Obviously, great ball speed, et cetera, et cetera. That is what we want to try to see more of.
Okay.
That's the formula, right there. Okay, give me one more sort of last one. Let's see something that kind of. And I still want you to keep that path to the right.
Yeah.
I think that's important long term for you not to have the face started right because the toe is down.
Right.
And you have to then pull the path across to the left. Okay. Great job, Matt. Great job. 194 on the fly. Beautiful.
Just trying to bottle that feeling.
That's it. And you're producing lots and lots now of flight. I mean, that angle, as you've improved the delivery over the course of the session, the dynamic lie angle is unrecognizable, which is a really good win. Okay, let's take a run through kind of what we've managed to sort of achieve, right? So there's originally where we were with yours. So yours versus yours, dynamic lie angle. We changed the lie angle. We went 4 up. That's the 4 degrees of dynamic loft change, right? That's very sort of simple. Actually increased the ball speed a little bit, and we increased spin, so we're going to get a little bit of a easier time stopping it in the greens. That's the bare minimum win we're going to get today is a new spec of your irons, which is fine. If we go into what we achieved with the T100s, the first time we tried it was here. We gained, that's a really good launch and good spin as well. That's that kind of slightly darker blue that's peaking above all those other colors. And then over time, sort of, you kind of got a little bit more forward shaft lean. You actually compressed it more, got more ball speed, kept the spin in a really, really good window. Same carry as the other T100 when we tried it. But the big winner for me is now in the dynamic lie angle, right? So 3.3 toe down, very manageable. Club head speed goes up with the heavier shaft, not something that happens for everyone, but definitely you use the mass to create velocity, which is really cool. We've made a couple little tweaks to your path, and we've got it a little bit more neutral and online. And kind of the net is, contact-wise, we've got it in a great spot. Yeah. Lots and lots of great things happen when centeredness of contact improves, obviously, and dynamic lie angle improves. So now we've got the delivery in a really, really good spot. Tons of efficiency. We're winning all over the board.
Feeling really good. When you did that change from the dynamic gold back to my shaft, that first swing was felt off balance right away in that follow through. Yeah. No, it's a key part of it for you in order to try to sort of manage the feel of the swing as it comes down. So we don't want you changing plane too much, especially not delivering it sort of toe down. So a few different things stacked in our favor. Shaft, upright lie angle, a little bit over rightward aim. All of those things are stacked on top of one another to create a more neutral ball flight. Awesome. Love
Good stuff.
What an experience.
It's fun to do it with somebody who hasn't been through the fitting process before. A lot of the time we get sort of clients coming through, Matt, that have done this many times, and they're coming through for their 5th, 6th, 7th club fitting session. What's really fun about doing it with someone like you is seeing you go through for the first time. Yeah. And like you said, you had no idea your dynamic lie angle was toe down.
No, I had
Never
no
mind
idea.
8 or 9 toe down. It's quite a bit. And you said to me, what's your tolerance? And I said 3. So
over double that to start? Yeah.
Which is all good. Great job.
Thank you.
Amazing stuff. Guys, it's a real treat to, as I say, get to work with you guys at the Bay. I love being able to sort of, work with people that really haven't done this, as I said before. experience shaft changes, experience lie angle changes, all of those things stacked up on top of one another in order to create sort of gains like this. So I think Matt's going to see some really good changes. His goal is to go from a 10 handicap, 10.4?
10.4, yeah.
10.4, trying to get it down into single digits before July.
Before July.
For the middle of the year. That's our goal here. So I really think these types of changes are really going to flow into the long irons where you struggle a little bit with contact, with some distance, some things like that. These are really going to flow into the long irons for you as well. So we're going to look at some specs. We're going to chat about some specs as well for that. But I think we've went a long way with the irons today.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, guys, can't wait to next month. At least once a month we'll be doing these follower fittings. Make sure your name's in the hat for it. We're working with different players. You guys all have some great speed. We're trying to get some sort of players that I think of a slightly slower swing speed. Matt's hitting 200 yards 6 irons later like it was nothing. So it'll be fun to work with players of all speeds, deliveries, whatever you guys have got. We want to see it and we want to display what everyone can benefit from a fit session. So stay tuned for that and we'll see you again soon.